Hello, welcome to Stoller Films TV movie reviews. My name is Michael Stoller, and today we'll actually be doing a recent release, which is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So going into this film, I had really high expectations because I loved the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie so much. I'm a huge fanboy when it comes to comic books. Plus, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So to me, Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty much MCU just doing their version of Star Wars. And the other thing too is, as much as I love the continuity with the MCU, I do like the cosmic aspect as well because they have to throw in an Easter egg here and there, but for the most part they have a lot more freedom than say Ant-Man or Thor, Captain America, someone like that, because for example with Civil War happening, now they have to make sure that's included in the next film that they release, whereas with Guardians of the Galaxy, the Civil War meant nothing to them. So I thought it was great. The opening scene with Baby Groot, I can see why people weren't a fan with the opening scene because of the dancing and everything like that Baby Groot did. Personally, I thought it was silly. I thought it was also a great way to kind of help reintroduce all the characters, especially just in case if anyone hadn't seen the first one. The first 5-10 minutes of the opening credit sequence, them destroying the monster and then going to deal with the Queen Aisha. I mean, I just thought it was a great way to quickly explain who each one of these characters are. So if you hadn't seen Volume 1, you can still go into Volume 2 and get a good idea of what's going on. It was great that they expanded Yondu and Kraglin's roles. I thought they were awesome. To me, after this film, Yondu's my favorite character from the series. I mean, it was just amazing how they took like one of the minor villains or like bad guys, you know, kind of in a way from the first one, and then they actually made him really likable and an awesome character. The movie was great because it was also separated into 3 parts, where it was like a Guardians of the Galaxy section, then a Baby Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Yondu side story section, and then there was Drax, Gamora, Star-Lord, and Kurt Russell's section as he plays Ego the Living Planet in it. And so they've got that story. So they do a good job at kind of bouncing around and everything like that. Personally, I think Kurt Russell as Ego the Living Planet was awesome. Minor spoiler alert, to skip a few seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this, but if you know anything about comics, this isn't really a spoiler, but Ego the Living Planet, I think he's the 3rd best bad guy that Marvel has done. I thought he reminded me a lot of like previous kind of Stephen King kind of bad guys, or like like Shining or like Misery, one of those more psychological bad guys that at first you're like, oh, they seem nice enough, but something seems off, and then the tension builds till finally it comes to the conclusion and the confrontation. I thought it was awesome. The reason why I think he's the 3rd best bad guy in the Marvel universe is I'm that weird guy who thinks Robert Downey as Iron Man. I think he's probably the greatest villain in the MCU because he's responsible for creating a large majority of the villains. And rumor has it he's going to be responsible yet again in Spider-Man Homecoming. So to me, he's the greatest villain in the MCU. Kingpin from Netflix Daredevil, I thought was awesome. But then Ego has to be my 3rd one because I thought Kurt Russell killed as that character. And I hope that somehow they're able to bring him back in future installments. I mean, I think this is the best Marvel sequel because Civil War, that was a payoff movie. Whereas you couldn't do that after one movie. You had to have done the whole MCU to get to that point. Whereas Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy, they don't even need to be in the MCU and they still make sense even though they have like the Thanos Easter eggs and everything like that. So I think this is a great movie. I'm kind of worried about Volume 3 just because that'll be the first movie that actually does get affected by the MCU because of the upcoming Avengers movie that I believe is due out next year. But that's what I'm just kind of worried about, is that James Gunn has had free reign. He's a great writer, director. I loved him before he did the first Guardians movie. Check out Super and Slither. That's another good one. Just check out James Gunn's movies, Super and Slither. Those are two great indie films. They got both have Nathan Fillion in them. I mean, Nathan Fillion's only a minor character in Super, but anyways, I thought he was a great director, so I'm just excited to see how he's really flourished in the MCU as a creative force behind the cosmic universe. I'm excited to see how the Guardians interact with the Avengers. I think this movie was one of the best sequels because, like I was saying before I went off on my tangent, is you got Thor 2, that wasn't that good. Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, I mean, it just wasn't even that good. And so, to me, this was definitely by far the best sequel that they've done, which isn't a payoff movie where it's just a straight up sequel. I'm excited for Volume 3. I'm excited for the rest of the MCU. I definitely give this movie 5 out of 5 strips of bacon. I saw it twice. Once on Saturday, the other on Sunday. Both times I thought it was awesome. So definitely I think you should check it out. And please just click on the subscribe button and the links. Don't forget to like it, comment. Let me hear your thoughts on this movie.